Consider you're a business which is starting a SaaS business starting back in 2016 or 2017. The first thing you do is build two level keywords. One is like, bottom of the funnel keywords, like people actively searching for your category and they're about to take a decision. So you build your solution pages, then you build an alternative pages. The third thing, where there are informational keywords, long tail keywords, you used to focus on keeping them in your blogs, right? That's what you largely used to do. Now, in last 18 months, AI took over the whole thing, which we know. This is not another video which says AI is going to replace your CMO, marketing team, and everything. That's not about it. But this is largely about what is happening, what is the impact happening underneath your radar, which is something you should be feared about. Recently, I'm going through ClickUp and I observed a pattern where at a peak, ClickUp lost more than 97%, not 17%, but 97% of its traffic on the blog segment, not on the website, but on the blog segment. So this made me curious to look at what exactly is happening. Why? Because with AI, you could actually build what 2,000, 3,000 odd pages per day, and you can deploy, you can build semantics. So unlike your traditional website development where you have to add 30 blogs a month is not the criteria. You can add 300 blogs in a day, right? Ideally, AI has to, take this up game, and companies like ClickUp, Monday.com, HubSpot should have done this criteria, build it more, make it more, and they would have occupied this, could have killed all the other competitors in this segment. But a contradiction happened, okay? And this happened when I started reviewing back at the problem, how it happened. And one of the hunch I have is, how SEO is changing. So I thought, why not I start with HubSpot, which is the category creator of inbound marketing, where people literally rely on HubSpot for everything, right? If you look at companies who started, you would seen him, the SaaS blogs, you would have seen them literally copying HubSpot strategy or reading through HubSpot what they are recommending and implement the same thing. One of the two things, right? Largely, that's the segment we are looking through. But something important happened, which I can't keep my head out of. So HubSpot, which happens to be the category creator, as one of the most biggest sufferer of this wave, they lost close to 96% of the traffic. Zapier 53%, ClickUp close to 98%, and Monday.com 23.5%. And I also read through lines. Being ClickUp and Monday.com being in the same category, why there is a distinction? Like why Monday.com lost only 23.5%, they lost 9.7%. If you look at the numbers, right, 4.6 mil to 3.5 mil, Monday.com is still making better. And if you look at the second set, famous tech publications like TechRadar, Digital Trends, ZNet, Verge, where people literally used to go and look through, and their business model completely surrounds on the content. Why? Because they have an ad revenue coming in and a media buying kits placed and everything, right? So that become irrelevant. Why? Because people started looking through these things, right? And think of 2017, 2018, or for a fact 2022 also. What we used to do, go to a company, let's say I'm a pharma tech product or mining tech product. I used to go to miningtechnology.com with an assumption like people who are coming to this website are mining technology consumers, like people who are consuming this content could be decision makers. Even if 10% of the decision makers, 10% of the traffic is decision makers, I still reached out to a right audience. So I placed an ad, paid £3,000 to be on a 30 days website. That's how we used to largely work. That's how marketing used to work. Now AI did something great. AI becoming more context aware and more relevance associated. Okay. So that is actually cracking down. That's one of the big things which crack down. And the third thing is, if you look at high authority publishers like Healthline, which has like what 111 million people, NerdWallet, CNET, Stack Overflow. Forget about Stack Overflow. I feel bad for Stack Overflow. Forget about the blog traffic. Their main traffic reduced to 92% of it. Why? Because ChatGPT is writing code and it is giving all the answers directly rather than bunch of people coming and answering this. Stack Overflow completely changed this, right? So one another observation across all these things, like if you go to clickup.com, right? ClickUp.com main website doesn't have any issues. Like, there are no much changes on the SEO of it, rankings of it. In fact, during this time, their domain authority went up, their backlinks went up drastically for all these companies which you see right now. Yet still, they lost their largest share of the traffic from the from the blogs. Now, what actually happened from my analysis, which I'm going to speak about, and I'm also going to speak at how you can make yourself relevant. AI did not kill the traffic, organic traffic. Companies which are still running on 2019 playbook actually did this. Now, what I mean by that is, if you look at it, right, overall scenario, largely three things stacked up. Okay, we'll speak about that too. I'll just get you here. Okay, three things stacked up currently. Okay, what are those three things? First, Google helpful content classifier. So that's a algorithm or the parameter which looks through. It judges your sections of your website independently, not as a whole, as an independently. Example, as I mentioned, ClickUp's product pages are fine. Their blogs got removed. Different parts of the website, same domain, but a different feed. Second, AI overuse. Now consider you are top of your category. You are ranking on 100 intent keywords on first page of Google. Earlier, your chances is getting 100 leads, qualified leads, or uh, let's say 1,000 leads, and 100 of them are qualified leads. But today, as on today, you have 58% reduced chance to get that 100 qualified leads or 1,000 leads. Why? Because AI overuse is showing the answers directly, and people who used to click, let's say 100 people used to click on the first result of the Google search of their keyword. Now, only 42% of people are coming to the first result and clicking. Why? Because AI overuse is already showing up the entire register. So you have 58% less as on today, and it unfortunately it is tend to go down, right? And third is the site crackdown, reputation crackdown. Remember, there is this Forbes Advisor, like Forbes Technology Council, Business Council, HR Council. God knows how many Forbes has created as an alternative model. Earlier, they started with cherry pick people who are great at their industry used to write for it, but later on it become a business model where you have to pay $3,500 per year to write, and this is all hit manual information, and they're not going to come back. Unfortunately, this is the truth. Now, if you look at this overlap, right, at an large, if you look at an overlap, the overlap between what Google ranks and what AI sites has dropped from 70% to 20% currently. Now you have two different systems, two different dashboards, and two separate motions currently. These companies that are growing right now figured this out. Stop trying to be one of the page users, clicks, and start being the source of AI queries. Interestingly, as I mentioned earlier, HubSpot lost 95% of their blog traffic, but it still has 35% share of voice in AI answers for their category, right? And the traffic collapse, the relevance held. This is the new game. That's how HubSpot future proofed, and no one speaks about it. And this will not come back to you in next next couple of probably years for you to look through. Now, how can you become relevant? How can you make sense of this current one? How you can future proof yourself? Four layers. One is, this is what we are running for our clients, and it's a proven model. One is instrumentation. What I mean by instrumentation is, now with the fancy dashboard you have, which speaks about existing users, new users, bounce rate, user sessions from XYZ, all these things is a dashboard which comes up, and you need to have a second dashboard. This second dashboard exclusively tracks your brand mentions. inside ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek. I don't know, God knows how many other models are coming up. This, the way you need to do is, for your 25 buyer queries. Why? Because unlike Google, we don't have this something beautiful term called search volume, where you know how many people are searching per month and you are trying to optimize this. It's not the criteria. You're doing something else here. You have top 25 buyers queries. And as on today, most of the companies has a zero visibility on this. People were not able to understand. I'm citing in ChatGPT, Copilot. People are getting traffic from here and there, but what are the terms I'm coming upon? People has no query. Till then, you have to do the manual operations of it, unless some giants start building parallelly, which we don't know yet. Second is this: the citability. Every commercial page has to be rebuilt with a clean one sentence definition. So think of this as a page criteria. Earlier, if you remember, go back in last 10-15 years, right? There used to be Penguin, Panda, these algorithms which used to target based on one Google algorithm is like, how many times you are creating backlinks. Second version of it is like, how many times you are keeping this keyword across multiple times on your page. We are still stuck there. Okay. Google changed itself to the context part long back. And now multiple players coming onto this context and relevance is the only game. Unlike Google or crawlers, like it doesn't read the content, it reads, understands, give reasoning answers to the right set of people in a right way. So you need to bring into your relevance game. So your page has to be rebuilt with one clean one sentence definition, 3 dated statistics, one named expert quote, and a comparison table. The unit of content is no longer what the page that ranks for. Okay. It is the passage which is getting quoted in the AI overviews, and everything is what is going to matter. That's the second part of citability. Third part about authority, which I will also extensively speak later on, is the named bylines from real experts, original first party sources, and no more anonymous team posts on the blogs. Uh, if a freelancer with no domain expertise building and giving you 20 blogs, forget about how positively it will impact. It will actively hurt your domain, right? Take this note. It's not about quantity anymore. It's not about quality also. It's more about reliability, relevance, and citability. Currently is what you have. For distribution, been saying this from long. When we speak about social media, everyone comes up and speaks about LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, Twitter posts. That's all. Your social media is way beyond this. Content syndication is the important thing. Your distribution is important thing. Now the current scenario, Reddit, LinkedIn, YouTube, G2, podcast, Gartner Peer Insights, Software Suggest, every touch points of these are being referred. AI models cites from this, from everywhere, right? Arya, remember Google business reviews. These all things also matters to you currently, right? One small example, Versal, the app, is getting 10% more signups from ChatGPT alone. Okay. So there are upsides of these things happening also. Now, the most important part is how would you reshape these things? I'm giving you a 90 days plan how you have to change this. This is how time is going to change. Okay. This is a timing window you need to understand. Gartner is projecting 25% decline in organic search traffic to commercial sites by end of next year. And it can be accelerated. Okay. We still don't know what happens in next 12 months. Why? Because Sam Altman is saying that next 3 to 4 months the models would be so powerful it can do everything and anything. If Claude Mythos can come up and every government and every banking system is scared of it, think of these things, how your business has to be future proofed. Okay. Now, and to give you an understanding, okay, 25% of organic traffic is going down at an overall percentage, but 12% of the marketing teams have documented a strategy for AI visibility. Okay. If I have to translate this, 9 out of 10 companies in your category are not competing on the surface that matters the most. Okay, probably they might not even know this, which means the citation share is still available and is going to consolidate fast. The companies that moves faster in the next 2 quarters will own AI visibility in their category for years. The one that wait till 2017, 2027 will become invisible, regardless of what they spend on content. Okay. So think of you being starting off Google. Okay. And SEO is getting relevant. People are searching through this. And you know the secret, like, people are going to search and land on my website. So you have that added advantage. So you need to think through this. Now, I'll quickly go back and I'll speak a little bit here and there about this, right? So if you look at a large, right, what is happening currently is Zapier and ClickUp both have the same content strategy, which is very important. The reason I'm speaking about Zapier and Zapier and ClickUp has a similar strategy if you look at it. But one keen observation I have made is Zapier wrote an article on ChatGPT alternatives. Okay. It writes about 8 competitors who are real ChatGPT competitors: Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, all these things. Now, ClickUp, on the other hand, become greedy and it wrote 20 tools and they are not even relevant. They started writing something around SEO tools, AI detection, bypass tools, academic research tools, all these things together. And now these are not ChatGPT alternatives. It's not just the user know. Now Google knows it, LLMs knows it. Every damn tool out there knows this. Like, they're just doing the clickbaiting thing. So your content strategy has to be relevant. That's what I'm going to speak about, right? And as I told you, AI did not kill the organic traffic. Okay. And the companies are still trying to rank on a broader information keywords and trying to drive page views and expectations. Like, people read through, click and go there. No, people are getting answers just a command away. Why would anyone do a research? So your entire strategy is changing. Everything you have built in last 15, 20, and whatever number of years you are in business is going to vanish in next 2 quarters. So if you wanted to make yourself future proof, reach out to me, ask me questions around, how can you make yourself future proof? How can you get leads through AI? For one of our client who is into contract lifecycle management, legal tech, and transportation tech, 3 different clients, we've been experimenting and we are getting leads through ChatGPT, Copilot, and Claude also. Okay. So this is a great source of you getting leads through. So I wanted you to leverage this and feel free to reach out to me for anything. You have a good day.